find the deals and the buyers. I kind of combine this into one because it's really the same idea. Number one is your realtors and brokers. You need to have at least 3 or 4 in each market that you work in. You need to have at least 3 or 4 realtors / brokers that you're working with. And I'm talking real estate brokers here. And I'm going to get into more specifics tomorrow regarding when I talk about the power team. But you need to work with these realtors and brokers who are investor-minded. And more specifically, let's get even more specific than that. You want to know the real key to getting those deals that no one else can get? So I'm going to tell you right now, the majority of the deals that hit the MLS, those are the deals that got combed over already by the savvy investor. And those are the ones that they didn't pick. And those are the ones that are being put on the MLS. How would you like to be one of those on the other side of that fence where you are getting those deals and you're cherry picking them before they go to the MLS? How many people would like to know how to do that? Awesome. Write this down for now. We'll continue it tomorrow. You need to build relationships with REO agents. And really, the reality is you need to build relationships with their assistants. What I do is I build relationships with 2 or 3 of the largest REO listing agents in whatever market that I'm investing in. So for example, in Vegas, I know the top 3 by first name. Top 3 REO listing agents by their first names. Same thing in San Diego, and again, more specifically, I know their assistants. Because guess what? If you're when they get to that level, and those of you who are real estate professionals in the room, you know this. When REO listing agents get to a certain level where they're one of the biggest in town, I'm going to tell you right now, they're not doing any real estate anymore. Their business time is being used on schmoozing and building relationships with more asset managers so that they can get more listings to put on the market. The people who are really doing the real estate, really doing the business, are the assistants. They're the ones you need to get to know. Guys, one of the REO listing agents in Vegas, I'll get their pre-list a good 3 to 4 weeks before it ever hits the MLS. And I get to share. They give me the lockbox codes, they give me everything. And I know you're not supposed to do that, but we all know what happens. Right?
No.
I'm going to tell you.
That happens?
I'm sorry, was I not supposed to say that on camera?
No, make sure we get that off of the camera, man.
Okay, I'll edit that out. Okay, hold on, let me fix that. They're not allowed to give out lockbox codes. Okay? Alright? But the fact of the matter is, we know how this business is really done. And you know what, like Dave was talking about earlier, I'm going to tell you how it's done in the trenches. I'm going to tell you how it's done in the real world, real life. And that's how it works. So you need to build those relationships. That's how you're going to get the deals. In addition, I want you guys to understand, I want you guys to be working on foreclosures and short sales. I know that for a lot of people in this market right now, a lot of people don't want to deal with short sales. Why? Oh, they're a pain in the butt, they take too long, blah, 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 blah. Believe me, I know. Okay? I know all that. And I know there's certain banks out there, B of A, that you really would rather not work with if you had the opportunity. However, there's a way to do this. There's a way to make this work. Would you like me to share with you how I do it?
Yes.
So there's 4 of you? Would the rest of you just like, okay.
Yes.
All right, cool. Just checking. Okay? The way you play this game, the short sales are not going to be necessarily the quick cash, but they're the deals that you throw in the pipeline. One of my colleagues out of San Diego, in the last about 4 years, they have flipped 300 short sales.
Wow.
Yeah. There's some big names out there. They've gotten so big that their mugs are on park benches in downtown San Diego, which is actually kind of freaky considering I know who they really are. They're all sitting there with their suits and all that on park benches, and I'm like, yeah, right. But the point is they've flipped 300 short sales in the last 4 years. What they do, so with short sales, what you're going to do is you're going to throw them in the pipeline. Then what you're going to do is you're going to work on the REOs. Those are the quicker cash. Those are the ones that you're going to get under contract and flip in the next 30 to 45 days. Now, you're going to do that for the immediate cash. And by the way, I also include the quote-unquote traditional sales. The actual, I mean, in my neck of the woods, it's few and far between where you find someone who actually has equity, the magic E word, and actually is motivated to sell. But once in a while, you come across those as well. Those are the ones you're going to wholesale and flip for the quick cash over the next 30 to 45 days. That's what's going to pay your bills and pay off all your, go towards your debt, go towards your savings, your security bucket, if you will. And also, that's also going to be the cash that's going to seed your other businesses, your other real estate strategies. You guys are going to learn some other strategies throughout the weekend. Okay? You can take some of that cash from your flips, and that can go towards investing in your other real estate strategies as well. Now, as you're doing that, those short sales will start to pop over time. And then you're just going to incorporate the two. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Another way you're going to do this is develop a relationship with a title officer or an escrow officer. That's right. She said it. Those are the ones that know. See, they know what transactions are happening, yes or yes.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many times in both Vegas and San Diego that I've gotten a phone call from my escrow officer where she was actually the one in charge of the transaction. Buyer falls out, and guess who she's calling? Yep. The key here is pick one officer and just use that person over and over again. Give them business. Give them a lot of business. Because part of their pay is dependent on it. You give them a lot of business, tell you what, you're going to start getting the favors right back. Because, and again, build that relationship with them. Build that relationship with them so that they know when something like that happens, they can just call you up and say, hey, you know what, this deal just fell out or it's about to fall out of escrow. Here's the information you need. This looks like the type of property that you're interested in, that you've done before. Boom, there you go. There's my cutest fan right there. Check it out.
He's so cute. Big blue eye. I know, he's so cute.
My vote of confidence right there. That's awesome. All right. Next one is your property managers. One of the things that I did over the course of the last 8 years, along with Stacy, is we owned a property management company. We owned a property management company. We built it from scratch. We got it up to about 400 units, and then we sold it. Main reason, I'll tell you right now, property management sucks. It's horrible. It's bad. Sorry, Nathan, you'll have to edit that one out too. Anyway,
Okay.
but you know what? In that time, what we learned is another way to find properties. Because guess who our clients are? As a property manager, guess who our clients were? Investors, right? And I'll tell you what, it's only a matter of time before someone decides they're going to sell their property. And really, that's why most people go into property management. Most people aren't in it for the money of that monthly, whatever the monthly payment they get from the investor. Most of them are in it because they know that sooner or later, you're going to want to sell, and they're hoping that you're going to think of them first to sell the property. So what I have gotten leads from property managers that I've built relationships with over time, who know that so-and-so's about to sell their property. This looks like it's something right up your alley. Give it a shot. Okay? You guys have to have a website. Next one, that's huge. You know, and I don't claim to be a website expert. I'm not. That's why I hire it out. I have my power team to do that for me. Right, Nathan? I have my power team that does that for me. But I'm going to tell you what. One of my students, I'll give you an example of how important this is. Tim Marie, have I been hammering you guys on getting a website up and running?
I feel like I didn't hold my hand.
I've been hammering you on that, haven't I? Absolutely. Guys, two of my students, I'll give you an example of how powerful this is. Two of my students, I did a mentorship, on-site mentorship with them about 3.5 years ago. And in, of all places, Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, Michigan. Did a 3-day mentorship out there. They were living in Seattle at the time. From that 3-day mentorship, they fell in love with the city. By the way, Detroit's nowhere near as bad as they'd have you believe. Are there challenges? Yes. Would I recommend everyone run to Detroit to invest? No. But it's nowhere near, nobody drives around in bulletproof cars or anything like that. I've had people ask me that. But they moved from Seattle to Detroit 3.5 years ago. They are now the owners of a company called Urban Detroit Wholesalers. Last year they wholesaled 80 houses in Detroit.
Wow.
At an average profit margin of $5,000 to $8,000 per deal. Do the math on that one. Was that a good year for them?
Oh, yeah.
And that was in Detroit. So if they can be doing that in Detroit, again, I'm not encouraging people to go running over to Detroit and make a bunch of money. But my point is, when I talked to them, I went to visit them back in December. I was doing some business out there. I went to visit them, and one of the first questions I had, because I was just absolutely just proud of their success. You know, when you get to do this, you go from being an investor, being successful with investments, to becoming a mentor or trainer. That's just absolutely, it's just an awesome feeling. I have a passion for helping people move forward with their business. So I heard about, we've kept in touch, and they told me about their success. So I went out there to check out what they're doing. One of the first questions I asked them was, how did you sell 80 Detroit properties in 2010? By the way, they're on pace to do 120 this year.
Wow.
He told me flat out, 90%, at least 90% of that was off their website. 90% at least of their buyers came off their website. And of those buyers, by the way, guys, the majority of them, he told me, were from Australia and Europe.
Wow.
Absolutely. Guys, it's imperative. It's imperative. If you guys want to see a template of a website that's working, go to Google, put in Urban Detroit Wholesalers. Don't reinvent the wheel, just find what works and ride the coattails.